This is Evening News for Friday, October 18, 2013. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. More house lots distributed in Region 3. APNU wants National Security Committee set up. 3 killed, several injured in East Bank smash-up. GNBA grants licenses to 9 broadcasting entities. And R. Kelly arrives in Guyana for redemption concert. And now for the news in detail. Sabatini Daniels joins us now to report that a number of Guyanese from Region 3 were allocated house lots at Zealot West Coast Demerara. More in this report.
Scores of persons gathered at the iFlood Community Center as the Housing Ministry hosted its 5th one-stop shop for the year. In attendance was President Donald Ramatar.
We believe when you have that security of your own home, that you have greater peace of mind, and you can produce more, you can work more to develop yourself and to develop your country.
He highlighted that government has already put systems in place to aid low-income and middle-income owners to enjoy affordable interest rates. Meanwhile, Housing Minister Irfan Ali said the government will invest $700 million for Phase 3 of the Zealot Housing Scheme infrastructure development. He stated that this is in addition to the $20 million for land clearing it has already spent, adding that another $54.7 million will be invested to install electricity.
We consider this to be the subsidy. This is then the subsidy that the government pays on behalf of you. So for every single lot, there's a subsidy, an average subsidy of 76.7% here in Zealot Phase 3. So 76.7% of the cost of the lot the government has paid on your behalf.
A number of beneficiaries also expressed their pleasure of receiving house lots.
I'm happy because I went several times in the ministry to get a lot because I'm renting house over here for my 2 kids. They're working over here, and I'm thankful that I'm been called for a house lot. I give thanks to the government.
We are excited about getting our own lot and own our own home, so I can't wait to get ready to start building.
Some 844 house lots were allocated to persons. This initiative shows government commitment to affording citizens the opportunity to own their own homes. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
3 persons are confirmed dead and several others hospitalized after a minibus and truck crashed at the Corverden East Bank Demerara public road earlier today. Pishar Mohammed was at the scene of the accident and filed this report.
Minutes after departing Georgetown for Madhya, a Route 72 passengers minibus turned turtle following a collision with a sand truck at Corverden East Bank Demerara, leaving 3 dead and several badly injured. The accident occurred at about 11 hours. The dead people were identified as Felix Mark, 42 of Pleasance East Coast Demerara, Delroy Evans and Loretta Evans of Madhya, Region 8. According to information received, Rupesh Bagwandin, 19 of Hope East Coast Demerara, was driving motor lorry GPP 8495, which was loaded with sand and allegedly attempted to pass another vehicle that was parked on the roadway. In so doing, the vehicle ended up in the path of the Route 72 minibus bearing registration number BPP 3521 that was proceeding in the opposite direction, thus resulting in the collision. As a result, Marks and Evans died on the spot while Loretta Evans succumbed while receiving medical attention at the Diamond Diagnostic Center. At the scene, a passenger of the bus explained what occurred.
Well, we were going up on the way to Madhya, and coming along, I just dozed off and just heard a loud song. And wake up and the bus just opened in half. And I came out alongside another passenger, and that was it. We had approximately about 8 passengers in the bus. We were supposed to pick up some people at Linden.
So you were going up to Linden?
Madhya.
And the bus was fully stocked or with any other thing?
We had some goods and so inside, but the bus wasn't overloaded or anything. The driver wasn't speeding, the driver of the truck, because we just picked up somebody. I just dozed off a little bit, right, and he was just attempting to pull over or whatever.
So right? Did anybody see the truck coming from the opposite direction or so on?
Yeah, but by the time they could raise the alarm, the truck was already in the path of the bus.
The driver of the motor lorry and several other passengers of the minibus were admitted to the Georgetown Public Hospital. Bishar Mohammed, The Evening News.
9 broadcasting entities were presented with their licenses by Chairperson of the Guyana Broadcasting Authority, Bibi Shadiq. Sabatini Daniels was there and filed this report.
The 5 television stations that were presented with their licenses were Television Guyana Inc., GWTV, Channel 2, Pinnacle Communication Inc., Multi-Technology Vision Inc., and CNS Inc. Meanwhile, the radio stations presented with their licenses were Radio Guyana Inc. and Telcor Cultural and Broadcasting Inc. Additionally, cable licenses were presented to Atlantic Cable and E-Networks. Shadiq disclosed that a requirement by law is that licenses have to be exhibited at the place of business. Earlier this month, the GNBA chairman had disclosed that a number of broadcasting entities are yet to submit all outstanding documents to the board or they would be deemed illegal broadcasters. As such, he disclosed that these entities have until the end of this month to submit the relevant documents.
By the 31st of October, it is my belief that all those continuing stations will get themselves licensed. We still have some days to do. Many things can happen in a short while.
The GNBA head also pointed out that the licenses will be advertised in the Gazette tomorrow. Shadiq congratulated all the entities who placed their documents in order so they could have acquired their licenses on time. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
61-year-old Mary Hernandez will appear in the Supreme Court on Tuesday, October 22, on behalf of her dead great-grandfather, George D. Sabastani, who was sued by the Georgetown Main City Council, MNCC, for owing $11.5 million in rates and taxes from 1997 to 2013. Sabastani was the former deputy mayor of Georgetown at the time of his death in 1966. He was also the owner of a funeral parlor, which was operated from his Queenstown residence. Hernandez, who is now the owner of the lot 235 Albert and Forshaw Street's Queenstown home, said following Sabatani's death in 1966 and the subsequent death of his grandson, Renwick Lee, in 2004, the property was handed down to Hernandez before her father, George Lee, died in 2007. Opposition leader David Granger said the time has come for President Donald Ramotar to convene a Border and National Security Committee in wake of the Venezuelan Navy move to seize an oil exploration ship in Guyana's waters. Svetlana Marshall explains why.
Opposition leader David Granger said the Border and National Security Committee should focus on the implications of the unprecedented seizure of an unarmed scientific survey vessel by the Venezuelan Navy last week. Granger pointed out that the vessel was conducting exploration in Guyana Executive Economic Zone following permission by the government of Guyana.
Granger's call is based on the June 2001 report of the Border and National Security Committee, of which he was co-chairman. The report recommended, inter alia, that the highest level of consultations for discussion and resolution of issues pertaining to border and national security issues should take place between the President and leader of the opposition. This level of engagement represents the core of the bipartisan approach.
He further explained that the report, when submitted to the former President Barry Jagdeo, encouraged the government to establish a standing committee of Parliament to address border issues. He opined that if the report was adopted by the administration, Guyana would not have been faced with such a dilemma.
The report recommended further that the bipartisan process should be supported by a technical academic component in the form of an Institute of Border Studies, a strengthened frontiers unit of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the review or consolidation of existing institutions where there is overlap and duplication in functions, or which simply are ineffective.
The opposition leader said he believes that the act by the Venezuelan Navy was done to intimidate Guyana. The opposition also expressed astonishment at a joint statement issued subsequent to the meeting with the Foreign Affairs Minister Caroline Rodriguez Burkett and Venezuela's Minister for Foreign Relations Elias Milano in Port of Spain on Thursday. The opposition is disappointed that the meeting did not address Venezuela's use of armed force against Guyana, which is a contradiction of Article 2 of the Charter of the United Nations. Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back to the evening news. The acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Karl Singh, said there is an urgent need for more judges to be appointed to deal with the increasing backlog of cases and the slope associated with the dispensation of justice in Guyana. More in this report. Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Karl Singh, has attributed the slow manner in which judgment is given for court cases to the lack of judges.
It is humanly impossible to deal with the number of cases that accumulate in the court. We live in an extremely litigious society, and if you look at the filing rate of cases in the High Court, and you look at the judicial manpower available, if you did the arithmetic, it turns out that it would be humanly impossible for the available judges to deal with those cases.
Justice Singh's sentiments were endorsed by Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal, who said the executive had recognized the need for more appointments to be made to assist in improving the delivery of justice. Singh believes that by appointing more judges, issues relating to the backlog could be further addressed, and there could be a rebirth of an effective judicial system. Currently, there are 18 judges in the court system. The Chancellor said he will readily endorse any move to boost the human resource capacity of the judiciary, acknowledging that most of the delays are caused by the direct actions of some sitting judges. He said even as consideration is given to the appointment of more judges, stricter measures and action will have to be taken to ensure compliance.
I am in the process of looking at this question of outstanding judgments, and I have spoken to the Chief Justice about it. I believe the time has come when we have to take a very firm view of this question as a matter of effective administration of the courts. We need not remind judges that persistent failure to render decision in the time prescribed by the legislation can amount to a disciplinary issue, and so we may have to begin to take an extremely serious look at this matter.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General highlighted that over the past 2 years, 3 High Court judges and 1 Court of Appeal judge were appointed. He admitted that government endorses the view that more judges needs to be appointed to assist in fast-tracking the delivery of justice. Justice Singh says he looks forward to the establishment of specialized courts with jurisdiction to hear and determine specific types of cases, such as the commercial and constitutional administrative law courts. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Acting Tourism, Industry and Commerce Minister Irfan Ali is urging all businesses to petition the United States Department of Transportation to allow Fly Jamaica to operate direct flights between Guyana and New York. In a statement issued on Thursday, Minister Ali reiterated the need for all stakeholders, including the business community, to rally in support of the new airline. Ali said he believes that there must be fair and open competition, and if the fact remains that there is no American carrier in the market, then it should view this as a regressive step. The decision to deny the application for direct flights is one that does not fit into the country's business interest and is something that he thinks Guyana has to fight and respond to as a country. At present, there is no American carrier in the market, and Fly Jamaica will face a very burdensome position of flying through Jamaica. Housing and Water Minister Irfan Ali has defended government's housing policy against what he described as baseless assertions and attacks by Alliance for Change AFC leader Kemrat Ramjatan. More in this report.
Housing Minister Irfan Ali says there is no lack of transparency as it relates to the allocation of lands for housing development. During an interview with this newscast, Ali said he is not surprised at the comments attributed to AFC leader Kemrat Ramjatan in a Kaitor News article on Tuesday. The Housing and Water Minister sought to present the facts on the policy that governs the Housing Ministry's involvement with private contractors and land developers. Minister Ali said it is no secret that the Ministry's Central Housing and Planning Authority, CH&PA, has embarked on a campaign of building public-private partnerships with critical stakeholders. He noted that this is because the Planning Authority understands the importance of housing development and the direct impact it has on the socio-economic development of all Guyanese. development. He explained that the private developers were selected to develop land specifically for housing via the publication of notices seeking expressions of interest. Ali explained that most of these developments target the middle income and high income markets. In this regard, less than 400 acres of the total land mass of the East Bank development has been allocated to private developers. The resources garnered from these developers are used as a tool of cross-subsidization, which ensures there is a balance in the market whereby resources from the top end are used up for development of the lower end. Ali stated that the invitation for expressions of interest for private housing development on the East Bank Demerara has seen 14 companies submitting proposals. He stated that infrastructure work on the East Bank Demerara has already tremendously raised the equity value of homes located there. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
The Partnership for National Unity, APNU, today advocated for the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration to enhance Guyana's primary health care system, noting that this move can aid in the reduction of unwarranted deaths in the health sector. More details from Svetlana Marshall.
Leader of the Partnership for National Unity, David Granger, accused the current administration of poorly managing the national primary healthcare system. According to Granger, there are a plethora of problems affecting women, children, and the elderly in the health sector, but said with a systematic approach to the situation, these issues can be addressed. Maternal deaths and Guyana's presumed inability to achieve the United Nations Millennium Development Goals 4 and 5 in 2015 were among issues listed.
The administration's clumsy treatment of its nurses and its attitude to their training is the second source of serious problems. Officials of the Guyana Nurses Association and Georgetown Hospital expressed alarm at the high failure rate of about 85% at a recent, I think it might have been 2011, the recent batch of nurses from the Georgetown School of Nursing.
Concerns were also raised by APNU on the proper functioning of regional hospitals and health centers, noting that to date the Linden Hospital complex is without an ambulance, which is a primary resource. It was further pointed out that the high cost of medical evacuation has been a consequence of dysfunctional community health centers. He lamented that the increase of unwarranted deaths within the interior could be reduced.
The ministry seems to be incapable of preventing or responding promptly to the prevalence of preventable diseases. Data indicate that there were 144 deaths over a 12-year period between 2001 to 2012 owing to acute gastroenteritis and acute diarrheal diseases, ADD. 61% of all deaths were children 5 years or younger. Every year brings more deaths. Most recently, you know of the scandal in Region Number 1.
He made it clear that the party's position is not an attack on the Health Minister, Dr. Berry Ramsaran. However, Granger said with millions pumped into the health sector, more can be done to meet the needs of the Guyanese people. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. International R&B singer R. Kelly and other artists arrive for the highly anticipated Redemption concert slated for the Guyana National Stadium tomorrow evening. Bisham Mohammed was at the airport and filed this report.
In less than 24 hours, the Guyana National Stadium Providence East Bank Demerara is expected to be packed to capacity when the Redemption concert is held. The concert will feature international R&B singer R. Kelly, who will be headlining the act, along with Jamaican reggae group Morgan Heritage and Trinidad's hottest band, Kez the Band. Trinidad's JMC Trevini will be replaced with Trinidad's #1 crossover band, Karma, featuring Rafi B, Nisha B and Gregory. R&B international singer R. Kelly arrived in Guyana earlier today and has expressed his excitement to perform here for the first time.
When I set out to do a show, I like to choreograph my show, but I also like to choreograph it to look as if it's not choreographed, because I'm a very spontaneous person. I love to have fun on stage. I never looked at it as work. I look at it as just me getting on stage and having a lot of fun. So I create my show to where it comes off as fun, spontaneous. Well, are there fans? Do people listen to my music over here? I always wonder those things because I've always been a homebody. Even when it came to my music, I always done my music at home and just would hope that it would reach out to the world. But I never knew where it was. I never knew where or how far my music had went. So I'm always surprised when people say, "Can you go here and do something?" And I got to get on a plane and fly over the water. I'm like, wow, they know my music over there. I would want them to know, they already know I sing. They already know I write and produce and things like that. It must be some history as fans here. But what I want them to know is that I'm also human. I'm a man. I'm a father. I got 3 kids, off the 12 Play album, if you will. And, and I love to have fun, and I play basketball a lot, and I love McDonald's.
However, Kez and Ravi B also said they are ready to sizzle.
It's good to be back in Guyana. I love the show, the layout of the show. It's kind of about a little bit of everything for everyone. And we're going to bring our brand, we're going to bring that soca, that Trini feel to the concert, that energy and excitement.
Karma will also be bringing, our brand, our style of music, and I'm really looking forward to it because this might actually be our last show for the year in Guyana. So tonight is just going to be crazy. Looking forward to R. Kelly and Morgan as well.
Meanwhile, Acting Tourism Minister Irfan Ali welcomed the artists, explaining that this is a tremendous boost for tourism.
On behalf of the government and people of Guyana, we would like to welcome R. Kelly here in Guyana, one of the most beautiful places on earth. We're hoping that you can extend your short stay to experience our country, our people, and its hospitality. This is one of the biggest hits for tourism this year. Having R. Kelly here, a name that pulls a large audience internationally, and with our large diaspora, I know for a matter of fact, there are many Guyanese living in the U.S. who are coming back just for this show.
The concert will be held at the National Stadium with VIP accommodations on the field, and general admission patrons will be seated in the stands. Bisham Mohammed at the Evening News.
Guyana Fashion Week will be officially opened on Sunday with a packed agenda. Anara Khan brings us the details.
The Guyana Fashion Week will commence on October 20th with a church service in the morning, followed by 6 chefs from the Carnegie School of Home Economics and 6 designers from the Guyana Fashion Week launching an exhibition. Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Fashion Week, Sonia Noel, said that the week is not just about fashion, but includes the culinary arts and things that benefit society.
Guyana Fashion Week, this is not the first time we're doing that. From the very beginning, we always include the creative arts because we think all the art forms are important. And we've been engaging the youths for some time now, and that's why sometimes when we talk about Fashion Week or Fashion Week now, it's so much more than fashion. Even like some of the causes we associate with, and breast cancer awareness will be one of them for the weekend. And this year is in the International Year of Water Corporation, and water is life, and we realize how important it is. So we'll be also sending messages.
Team member Ronnie Morris said Fly Jamaica is one of this year's sponsors and is encouraging the international press as well as models to attend. He believes that the Guyana Fashion Week is going to create a platform for the development of local fashion designers. Director of the GFW, Richard Young, said it is not about the glitz and glamour of the night. It's about a way to unearth talent in Guyana, not only in fashion, but in the rest of the creative arts.
Having the event as a festival in one space is definitely moving in the direction of how the international eye would perceive it. It is necessary for branding purposes, and that's why it has such a collective arrangement in terms of bringing on board all of the arts.
Guyana Fashion Week is an annual event which started since 2008 and has been attracting Guyanese of all ages as well as persons interested in fashion from the Caribbean. For the Evening News, Anara Khan.
The 8th annual Rockstone Fish Festival, billed for October 26 and 27, was launched yesterday amidst grand plans for an even more exciting event. The community of Rockstone, some 18 miles from Linden in Region 10, is renowned for hosting Guyana's largest fish festival, the Rockstone Fish Festival, and the attraction for both tourist and local alike. A 2-hour trip will allow persons to experience camping, fishing, bird watching, or simply exploring the Essequibo. During the launch officiated by the Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Intronaut Harold Singh, the planning committee outlined the progress of preparations on the way to transform the community of close to 250 persons into a hive of activity, ranging from the grand fishing competition to river expeditions. Tickets for adults cost $500, children $300, and vehicles range from $1,000 for cars and $10,000 for trucks. More than 5,000 visitors are expected to throng Rockstone for this year's festival. The Rockstone Fish Festival forms part of the Tourism Ministry's calendar of events and is very integral to the development of tourism in Rockstone. Join us after these messages for your Sportcast, sponsored by Macor. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport. In your headlines, GFF presents cash incentives to affiliates. Excitement continues in Courts Pee Wee this weekend, and Nationals set for November 19 to 22. And now for the news in detail. Affiliates of the Guyana Football Federation were today presented with cash incentives as part of an arrangement the local governing body has struck with the clubs during the ongoing National Premier League. More from Avinash Ramzan.
At a simple presentation ceremony at the GFF office in Dananawa Street, Campbellville, officials of 5 affiliates were presented with a monetary package as part of an agreement set out prior to the start of the National Premier League. At Friday's ceremony, the clubs and associations that were on hand to receive the finances were Alpha United, Denamstel, West Demerara Football Association, the Georgetown Football Association, Upper Demerara Football Association, and Santos FC. President of the GFF, Christopher Matthias, said the move forms part of the Federation's thrust to empower clubs and associations.
We're committed to empowering the clubs, not only technically and tactically, but also economically. And so in keeping with that commitment, the rules would have, being established, states that each club will be able to have a part of the gate receipts. In fact, 50% of the gate receipts will be divided among the clubs equally on each match day, and 20% will go to the association for its development.
Commenting on the progress made so far with the tournament, Matthias said the GFF is thankful for the crowd support at all the venues.
Well, from what I've experienced at the NAMCEL and at GFC, also in Linden, and what I heard transpired at Buxton, we're having a lot of community support, and it will only get better. Representatives
of the clubs and associations expressed delight at being able to benefit from the benevolence of the GFF, adding that it is a move in the right direction for the sport.
With the preliminary phase completed, action in the round of 16 in the Courts Pee Wee football competition will kick off tomorrow with 8 games at the Banks DIH ground, Thirst Park. Avinash Ramzan brings us the details.
When action commences at 10 hours, the unbeaten St. Pius will trade skills with Ketley Primary, a match that should set the tone for what is anticipated to be an exciting day of football. F.E. Pollard, another unbeaten school, will face defending champions Marian Academy in the other game, set to start at 10 hours. Another team with an unblemished record after the preliminary stage, North Georgetown, will tackle St. Gabriel's at 11 hours, with West Rheinfeldt and St. Ambrose going head-to-head at the same time. East Le Penitents will put their unbeaten streak on the line against Redeemer Primary from noon, with St. Margaret's and South Rheinfeldt clashing in the other game set to start at that time. In the final 2 games of the day, set to start at 13 hours, Enterprise Primary will square off with St. Stephen's, and last year's runners-up, Tuckville Primary, will hunt glory against J.E. Burnham. At the end of the competition, the top 4 schools will receive a 32-inch television set each to aid their visual sessions in the classroom. In 2012, the top 4 schools were recipients of a laptop each. All 24 teams will be given stationery vouchers and participation trophies from Courts Guyana Inc., while they have been provided with 2 footballs each and playing bibs, compliments of the Petra organization. The champion school will also receive a complete set of uniforms.
In this Tristan Joseph report, you will hear that the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Guyana Teachers Union, has launched the National Schools Championship sponsored by Judicial Guyana. Here are the details.
The third edition of the National School Swimming, Cycling and Athletics Championships is set to be successful after the mega sporting event was launched on Thursday at the Ministry of Education's head office. During the launching, Minister of Education Priya Manik-Chan noted the importance of the event.
We are also very clear at the Ministry of Education that our children must be rounded children, our students must be rounded students who can compete globally. Those are the kinds of citizens we'd like to be prepared. We know that we cannot do that with only an academic curriculum as well as by ourselves.
Manik-Chan also revealed what the future possibly has in store for the event.
We are currently examining with the union who represents the teachers whether it is best for us to have all the sporting events happening in the first term of the school. So you have, first of all, inter-house and then inter-school and inter-zone, inter-county and nationals, all in this first term, where a lot of instructional time is lost, and then where also we could forget that sport is necessary or sporting activities are necessary in the other two terms. We are currently examining that.
The main sponsor, Judicial, was pleased to be a part of the growing venture, as explained by the company's events and sponsorship manager, Gavin Hope.
We have seen the necessity to get on board 3 years ago because, Judicial is all about the improvement and the development of people, and in this case, athletes. So we have been contributing and will continue to contribute to the development of this particular track meet and the development of athletes from all across Guyana.
President of the Guyana Teachers Union, Colin Bino, thanked the sponsors and the Ministry of Education for hosting the event while praising the staff of the Providence National Stadium. The school's championship is set for the National Stadium from November 19th to 22nd and should see the out-of-town students athletes possibly being lodged at inns and guest houses instead of schools, according to Manik-Chan.
Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be purchased from vendors across the country. When you are not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do remember to tune into RGI on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Join us after these messages for your Bridge Reports. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demo Harbour Bridge will be closing Saturday, October 19 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Saturday, October 19 at 17 hours 45 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Friday, October 18, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandon. Thanks for joining us.